people about photography, just have photographic conversations. So I thought, can this video be moved over somewhere somebody can watch it stagnant in case somebody says something enlightening?
Oh, well, that ain't gonna be me. Although I am a little drunk, so you never know what kind of gems could come out of my mouth.
Well, this is going to get good, Jason.
So what was that?
I said this is going to get good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Yeah,
Jason's a little
Might
buzzed.
flash anyone.
So I was talking to some photographers today, and so my question, and I'm not the leader of this. This is just a conversation, but I'm curious: is anybody taking pictures now?
I am. I still take a picture of pretty much everything I eat that looks halfway decent. There's like some food I cook that looks crappy, so I don't shoot that. But I also just gave myself a self-assignment where I'm trying to do indoor portraits or just portraits around the house. Like, kind of what can I do in my house?
Yeah, I like that self-assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing kind of the same with with not being able to go too many places, and I don't want to just go wander around and take pictures and
Sure.
flaunt breaking, the stay at home or something,
Yeah.
So I've been just around my yard. I've got a lot of flowers, and I've been trying to, work on composition and flowers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to do an outfit of the day, which is mostly going to be like my quarantine outfit. So that basically means like shitty hair, my fisherman pants, and like the oldest t-shirt I have in my closet.
Yeah.
Quarantine.
I mean,
yeah.
I think these like little photo assignment kind of things, these little personal assignments or like outfit of the day or just even the food, it helps. It breaks the monotony of being at home, especially if you're posting it on social media.
Mm-hmm.
People get it's a way of interacting with people to see something that isn't theirs, it's not what they're up to and what they've been looking at, not their house, not their yard, not their food,
The world to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Although my house is kind of boring.
Being cooped up, does it, the isolation thing, does it affect either of your, like for me, I can't go buy film at whatever. I have to order it online, or I can't, I like to go and buy the thing and pay the extra money. And so how about you guys? Does it mess you up at all to not be able to,
The only thing that's messing me up is produce. I like fresh veggies, and so I try not to go out, and so I'm doing things like, okay, what vegetables will last the longest? Carrots last for a long time, apples do, cabbage does, onions do. So I try to stock up on that. And then the more leafy greens, I'll try to eat that in the first week because I know it's going to go bad. And then the second week that I don't go out is when I have the more hardier vegetables and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I missed the leafy greens.
Yeah.
Lettuce and spinach and stuff, they only keep for a few days until they start getting really, you need to start using it,
Yeah, you have to be strategic about it. And luckily I've been doing that for so long because I buy in bulk just because it's cheaper. And so I go on these grocery store crawls. And so I will go 5 to 6 grocery stores in a day. And then my shopping's done for 3 weeks. And so it's pretty normal for me to do this already.
The difference now would be that there's sometimes possibly less of a certain item.
Yeah, they didn't have my favorite pancake mix today. Oh.
Which one's that?
Krusty's.
Oh. Yeah,
they had a bunch of others, but I was heartbroken.
Now, Jason, you cook quite often. I'm pretty into a lot of the dishes I see coming out of Jason's house.
My stuff's real basic, real basic. Grace looks like she whips it up. I just make real basic stuff like your grandma or mom would make probably.
Well,
Grace is pretty fancy.
A lot of the stuff that I cook is because I'm watching Jason and I'm like, oh crap, I want to make that. And I think it only looks fancier because I light it. Which with this light, seriously, this is what I'm lighting everything with.
No, I remember you pulled that out of your purse when we went for barbecue.
Yeah. Oh, if you ever go out to eat with me, you kind of have to suffer with me lighting all the food for 5 minutes before anyone can eat.
That's all. So now that's what I was wondering, because I cook a lot, and when I cook fancy, it takes so long. And I'm such a spontaneous person that I can't stand to wait to cook fancy most of the time. I have to eat a meal before I make my meal, you know?
I can't either. Like, that's why, like, some food looks like crap, and I'm just like, fuck it. But, like, you know, every now and then when, like, the food can handle not being eaten right away, like, I made a roast, and the roast had to rest, so I'm like, okay, I can style this.
Right.
But, like, if I'm making, like, a stir fry that kind of needs to be eaten right away, I just kind of, meh.
Right.
No one needs to see this.
That pork roast you made, that stuffed one the other day?
Oh, yeah. Once quarantine is over, all of you should come over and we should have a potluck.
That looked really, really good. I think you should make that for the potluck.
Oh, yeah, I will.
In my message, I think some people are trying to get on here, but they don't know how to, or.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do your thing. Jason and I will talk food.
Yeah.
Meet some.
Well, for Jason makes, I don't know what it was. It was something. Oh gosh. It was why can't I not remember right now? But it was, you said it was like ranch dressing, or not ranch dressing, but ranch powder that you put in.
Oh, no. It wasn't the ranch powder. It was the onion soup.
Onion soup. That's right. That's what it was.
It's just a pot roast. Yeah, that's just what makes pot roast good.
That was so good. Like, I made that, and I'm like, oh, this has to go into the rotation now.
Onion soup in the pot roast is what you guys are talking about.
Oh, yeah. It's like the onion soup.
Yeah, that like, I mean, it just gives it it kicks it up just the next level. It really makes it good.
I could totally see that. I use that. Of course, the onion dip with the sour cream. But you can put that onion soup in just about anything that's better.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw it in a meatloaf. Oh, it's good in a meatloaf, too. I haven't actually done that in a while, but yeah, no, there's even like a little recipe on the back for the onion soup meatloaf.
Have you guys experienced the Instapot at all?
I do, no. But I'm going to say to everyone who's thinking about getting an Instapot, just don't get a Ninja Foodie, because the Ninja Foodie it's a pressure cooker, but it's also an air fryer, and it heats up faster. Like, it comes to pressure faster than an Instapot. It's just like far more versatile. If you're going to get one of those things, get a Ninja Foodie and not an Instapot.
Oh, that's the way to go. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Have you played with one, Birky, one of those Instapots?
I've used an air fryer, and I only once or twice. It's okay. You know, I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan. It takes up a lot of room, and
it does.
My kitchen's limited on space, so.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well,
I'm perfectly fine with like an oven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an oven. I mean, I have an oven.
You do?
But it's an electric oven, and when I installed it, I didn't realize the panel in my house, the electrical panel, couldn't handle it, because it's 40 amps, and I only have 30 amps left.
Yeah. My house had a panel upgrade. Luckily, my guitar player friend was an electrician, so.
Ooh.
You know. But and then the electric company had to come out and move the wire, put new wires in, because even the wires in my house were too old to go to the. Because I have the old kind of house with a pole wire, you know.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
They had to upgrade the wires to the pole. But yeah, I use Instapot. My kids like it. You know, I'll do chicken wings in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll steam them, and then soak them, or put a little salt on the chicken wings and steam them. Then so they're very tender, fall off the bone. Then you throw it on the grill outside. Put a little barbecue sauce, whatever you like.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like the Ninja Foodie, because then you wouldn't have to throw it on the grill.
Really?
The sauce on, and then you just turn on the air fryer, because once you pressure cook everything, then you still do it in the pot.
Wow. It's kind of all the same.
Oh yeah, and I can cook right in it, and it's a slow cooker too.
Seriously?
It's a slow cooker, pressure cooker, air fryer in one.
The Ninja Foodie.
Yes.
Wow.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean,
my buddy has an Instapot, and he raves about it. You know, he makes ribs, chicken wings, all kinds of stuff in it.
You can make spaghetti in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, the spaghetti in the pressure cooker, so much better. Like it feels like the sauce just infuses, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And you could do everything, the noodles, everything at once. You can,
It sounds so good. I'm getting hungry.
I know. I got to cook dinner after this conversation, but yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you guys have you guys miss restaurants or the,
I never was one to actually like go eat out too much on my lunch at work. Like I go get food some, but we would get a lot of food to go already anyway. Instead of like actually eating at a restaurant most of the
right.
time. So we still do it. We've been hitting little local places. Trying to help out
Yeah.
with the slowdown and stuff. Maybe once or twice a week we'll get takeout from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoy cooking.
Yeah. Well, I'm just too busy. I go out. I used to go out a lot. Like for maybe 7 months straight, I was going out like every 2 or 3 days, and I think that's why I wanted to be in hermit mode, because I was going insane. I'm like, I'm not getting anything done. I'm going out too often, so I'm enjoying this break from not going out to eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is not photograph talk, but since we're on the subject, I mean.
That's right. We're supposed to be talking about photography.
No. This break is.
I'm
I
crimping.
think causes a little introspect, doesn't it? Have you guys had any experience of going sort of internal with this thing, meaning that you're forced to, sort of look within yourself, or, more than before, or is it just sort of business as usual for you guys?
For me, I mean, I'm totally not working or anything, so things are really different for me. I have a lot of time on my hands that I'm having to fill that I normally, like 8 hours of my day would be filled somewhere else. So
yeah,
I am having to like kind of figure a lot of stuff out and get some stuff done and make sure I'm not, I guess, jacking around too much. Staying on point and because without work, it's really easy to get sort of off track.
Yeah.
And fall into like, I mean, I'd love to just lay around and watch TV all day, but I don't want to get into that habit,
Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I've
because I
been
can't.
For 2 years now, and I'm so used to my routine that like this is nothing to me. I have so much to do. I am simultaneously working on like 5 businesses at once, so that keeps me occupied.
That's cool.
Multiple streams of income, and I love it because, I mean, there's one thing to having that job, for 8 hours a day, and I took home so much work because you couldn't get it done in a day.
Yeah.
And I was just working in the morning. I would come home, I would work another 6 hours, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. And so I was like, screw this. I'm going to find a location independent source of income, and now I have 5 of them.
Right. So 5 side hustles.
Yes.
The side hustles became. I mean, that's kind of, I've worked that way many times in my life. I mean, is that going to be the future of photography? Will it all be side hustles, or is it already?
I don't know. I think more and more. Well, for the past 2 years, I've been involved in a lot more digital nomad communities, and a lot of like fire movement people who are just like really investing and want to retire really early.
Yeah.
And so for me, it seems like the norm now. For me, it seems like, what? You have a job? That seems crazy.
Isn't it a job? Meaning for the person giving you the job, they give you all this stuff, insurance, retirement, steady money. Like, do you think that educationally, now that my kids are at home doing online school, everybody in the nation is, all the colleges shut down within 3 days. They had to get curriculum up. But do you think it'll change education permanently in any way?
I think it will change education. It will change work. I think a lot of companies are going to realize that people can work from home and work remotely, and they're not losing any productivity, and it's going to save money because now they don't have to pay for, the electricity, the building to house all these people. People will be just as effective at home. Right. And yeah, there's a little bit of learning curve right now, but people adapt really well. I think most people.
Right.
I think the same will go for education. Mm-hmm. Especially like maybe in possibly remote areas where people have to be bussed in. Mm-hmm. Or schools not like in the cities is centralized, you know, if they have internet access, I think this is really going to show people a lot of possibilities of, like you were going to say, what can happen.
Yeah.
And we have to do it. So we are, you know what I mean? There's always that fear of the unknown.
Yeah,
especially with technology.
But there's been like, okay, for 10 years I've been a proponent of online education. I believe it or not, considering I worked at a college, I didn't necessarily believe in formal education.
Because
I was learning a lot of stuff from lynda.com already. I would, sit home on the weekend and go through a 22-hour course, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I actually technically got more information in that 22 hours I spent that weekend watching this course than 16 weeks in class.
Sure.
And so there's like Coursera, there is Skillshare, there is Academic Earth, there's MITx, there's all these places that offer online learning. There's online workshops now.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's a more efficient way for me to learn, that I don't have to wait till next week to learn something new. Like, if I want to move on to the next topic, I don't have to wait for the teacher. I can just go to the next video.
Do you feel that's because the type of learner you are, or do you think that's more of a general thing where a lot of people kind of take that advantage?
It's me. I think some people really like someone there to hold them accountable and to have someone help them, and
that structure.
Yeah, and I need it too to a certain degree, but there are some things I just get really, really interested in, and I can't wait to learn more. And so that was really frustrating, that I did have to wait to learn more.
Oh, so it didn't keep up with your curiosity.
Yeah. So online learning kind of solved that, just between YouTube,
What do you guys think of YouTube as a source for learning photography?
It's okay.
Ah!
It's not structured enough. I feel like, probably taking a beginner class to get a foundation and have someone direct you is better, because there's so much bad information out there. I know what I'm, I'd like to think I know enough about photography that I can spot bullshit, and there is so much bullshit, and there's so many times I'm just sitting there going, that's not right. And can you imagine someone having to try to learn that without knowing if it's right or wrong?
Yeah,
and the learning curve is just so much longer. But once you have a foundation in school, then you can take off on your own.
I'm glad that film, I don't really mess with film, but I'm glad film is coming back into vogue, so to speak, It really, I'm glad that I was able to start with film and kind of get a little bit of a foundation there. Because it really helps you figure out with you have to nail exposure. You can't play around and like a chimp at the back of your screen and you're like, oh, look, I think I kind of got it, and I mean unless you just have money to burn, on film, and you've got to actually learn it.
I'm gonna get another beer because how much time do you have on your Zoom? Because I can go into a rant. I may go into a rant.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll be back.
Get a credit card out if I have to here. So you like film because it forced you to be more precise?
I do. I think that you really have to pay attention to what you're doing, and it sort of sucks you into the process. Like when I sat for you for that portrait, a few months back at Cyprus.
Yeah.
That was just, I've never used, the large format camera. And that was just, the whole process was just really amazing. And everything, the metering of the lights, the setting everything up, the exposures, it's a whole process, and you have to really get into it. Yeah. And then you get this gorgeous result, and then going into the dark room, once you have the negatives and that picture it just appears. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just kind of seeing that picture just kind of magically appear. It's really cool.
After I shot you with that 4x5, then I had to go in the dark room and I had to determine what kind of developer to use and how.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, it's a whole process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think it's better, but for me, I just lately been doing film because it kind of slows me down. I'm kind of hyper. And so for me,
Yeah.
you know,
I really enjoy digital. I mean, it's nice, and now that I sort of have a foundation with photography, I really enjoy it. I'd love to get back into the film just because I feel like it does take you back to the basics, and you
Mhm.
do slow down, and you have to think a little bit more about what you're doing. I feel like. Um,
I do because I suck at it.
but yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I have no problem. I don't think that people that shoot digital or any less necessarily
Yeah.
than a film photographer. Because I mean, just taking the picture is one thing. You got to do something with it after that.
Yeah.
But I do have a special sort of appreciation for film.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's sort of intoxicating. The aesthetic of film always sort of, maybe because I was raised with it, it sort of was intoxicating for me.
Yeah.
These old shitty pictures. I was looking at some 120 stuff I have here, and they were crap, but God, it's so gorgeous. The gradation in there and the grain, and I don't know. It's not like one of those creepy photos.
No, the grain is just beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Well, I do.
Yeah, because you're a digital person, right?
Well, I am. The thing is, the first, I'd say, 10 years of my photographic education was film. So imagine you guys, and here's the interesting thing. The people that I have heard that, oh, I love film is the people that didn't have to work with it extensively. Like if you hear Greg Zajac and Rob Johnson and other people that have worked with it for years, they're like, I will fucking never touch film again. And I kind of
True.
I was at a cusp where the first 10 years of my education was on film. So when you guys had 101, you guys, I'm guessing both of you had digital components
Mine
in it.
was film. Oh, components, yeah.
No film. I
Yeah.
film 101 film.
I think mine was mostly film, yeah, yeah.
And so
I had
mine was film, and imagine from 103 onwards, you're pretty much on a 4x5.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine going through a wedding class with film.
Yeah, well, wedding was the one where you use medium format.
right.
And so
You know what I mean? It's just what? It's like what?
and it was
Crazy.
so annoying to okay, I'm shooting this and I want it in color, but I can't change the ISO, I can't do this. It's so limiting. And for me, photography, it depends on what you want to communicate, and it makes it a lot harder to communicate when you're limited by that.
Right.
And so it would suck to go out and shoot and then you don't know you screwed up for a few days or even a week sometimes. I mean, digital's great because if you fuck up, you can fix it within days. I mean, within seconds.
Yeah.
True.
And it's not fun having to go out, buy another roll and schedule another shoot. And then what if you are a commercial shooter and then you screw up and you have to call your entire crew back in?
Right. Or something that they won't even allow you to reshoot.
Exactly. And there's so much pressure, and everyone that says, oh, you can only get this look from film. I'm like, no, you just don't know Photoshop well enough, because
Right.
I also spent most of my years as a retoucher.
Yeah.
I've been a retoucher for 21 years now.
Right.
And I started out, with spotting and paints and stuff like that. And then when Photoshop came around, it was glorious. And so they're like, yeah, but I love the color of portrait. I'm like, do you know what the color of portrait is? Because that depends on the film. It depends on the age of the film. It depends on the chemistry, how old the chemistry was processed in, what paper you're printing it on. So you really don't know what portrait really looks like. You're just saying that.
It's kind of, right, it's kind of dynamic.
It is. And, you have to control variables. So many of them. If the chemistry is old, you can't get that control and the look you want. So digital, if you just learn it, you can do it in an hour rather than days, and you're so much more productive and you get to communicate more effectively. because it is what you are trying to show rather than, yeah, it's close enough, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine being like a photojournalist. You know, back with like film, you know, you have to capture that moment. You know what I mean? Like everything's at, it's like the moment's not happening again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was another thing. Little things that people didn't know about me. I also was a journalist, a photojournalist.
I
Worked
know you had you always renew your press credential.
I did, but I also worked at the Orange County Register, and I would remember
really?
like, yeah, the stories of like people, what's it called, coming in, and they said like they were on assignment, but deadline was happening, and so they're processing film in the car, and they're holding the film outside the window just to make sure it dries. So when they come in, someone's gonna be able to either print or scan that for the newspaper. And now, you know, you can just email it in. You don't have to drive in anymore.
Right.
Yeah, no, that I mean it makes everything so convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but it does change your timing when you get to see a thing. Meaning that as a musician, I'm a musician, you know, and so I'll record music, or I'll write a song, or I'll play the drums on a thing, I'll record it. I've been doing that for years and years and years, and you can almost never mix it properly, you know, within 3 months of when you record it. You know, and tape always played right back for you,
Mm-hmm.
but you could never. You were just too close to it. Your perspective was skewed because of your expectations and blah blah blah. So that's one thing about film that's kind of interesting. I know you can do this with digital too. Is that that pace? The pace that you dislike for some. This is a good conversation.
Oh yeah, I don't have a camera or a microphone hooked up to my computer, so I've got to use my cell phone.
Awesome.
So you guys are coming with me to the kitchen.
I can cope.
Sorry, keep going. I'm listening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So, anyways, there's something to be said for that. You know that. Well, like lately, I was shooting a lot of skateboard photography, and I could shoot it with a digital camera with the fisheye, and you know, the really great synchronization with the flash because of all the great cheap flashes. And I decided to. I had a conversation with a guy named Michael Weber on my podcast. He was talking about how most artists like to back themselves into a corner. But basically saying that you can sometimes you make better art when you are limited on time or limited on resources. Do you think there's any truth to that? If I give you a shitty camera, could you possibly make a better picture than if you had a great camera?
It's a possibility. I've had my happy accidents.
He's not saying that though. He's saying you have to dig deeper to make it because you can't rely on fidelity.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if that's psychological in the sense of like, hey, I'll take what I can get.
Right.
Or if you really do have to dig deeper, like I shoot 99% of my stuff, even jobs now, on my iPhone.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
And like, you know, all the food photography I do for restaurants these days, it's all on my iPhone.
Sure.
And it's better than what I could get on my SLR. And I know how to use it, you know? I know how to use the M mode.
Well, that's the thing, right? I guess what he's saying is that, like, you know, some artists like to put a thing off so that they have very little time to do it. It's almost as if they do it on purpose, because they don't. If you give them all the time in the world, they'll never get it done. Whereas if they literally have 10 minutes left, then it somehow enacts something in their brain where they are sharper.
They get this hyper focus.
Yeah,
it could be that. There's a TED talk about procrastination, and it's not that you know, it's more you're more focused or something like that. It's just that you've actually been thinking about it the whole time, and then you just execute at the last minute. So technically, are you really, you know?
right, and that's part of it, isn't it? I mean, isn't a lot of any art sort of a mind game?
I'd like to think so.
You know, like when you're using your camera to make your phone to make a picture. Sorry, Birky. You know, you have to be doing something in your head to make an excellent picture. I mean, you could just sort of hack it out. You could use your craft to make a thing that's acceptable to most.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So how do you, Grace, find that, or do you make pictures that are, something that came from something more passionate, or is it more of a craft for you?
I don't know how to answer that because I don't think of myself as a photographer. I think of myself as I happen to take pictures. There are people like Rob Johnson who I actually think of as a photographer. I think of you guys as photographers. I know. I think of myself as someone I happen to take pictures, and I happen to be trained in it, and so I have a lot of tools at my disposal to make it look better than I'd say the average untrained person. But I mean, I just take snapshots. It just, the training kicks in and it just looks a little bit better than other people, but I'm not really trying to like really communicate anything other than, hey, doesn't this food look good? Or like, hey, check me out, I'm on vacation. So
Right.
I get it.
so there's no deeper meaning for me.
Right.
Like when I have to take pictures for work, of the product. We have a lot of these weird educational kits that you kind of have to like set up. You can't just take a picture of the components. It looks like really shitty.
Okay.
So you kind of got to do a half-ass little setup of what someone might do, and it's really a pain in the ass because I don't have any design background. I just kind of have to play with it until it looks good, and sometimes it takes me a couple days of like tweaking it around and just looking at it, and I got to come back to it the next day, like and be like, do I still like that? Is that right? And then sometimes I take the picture and I look at it once it's on the screen. I'm just like, oh my god, no. Like I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what's the difference between what I'm looking at and then what I'm seeing on the screen.
Maybe that's the subconscious thing. You guys are both trained well enough that you just subconsciously know it's not right somehow. The training kicks in. That might just be it. Your training kicks in.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but I just look at it and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Start wanting to get a little Cliff in me.
So
just picking it apart,
Yeah, I mean that was one of the good things about Cliff. He definitely made you get a little bit more anal about stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you start looking at like little things that just kind of would.
No one else would notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
How would that be applicable? Would that be, or is it applicable, like to say a fine art approach or to a commercial? Is it, to get that to that level of OCD? I mean, because I feel that he helped me.
I think the commercial.
Yeah.
Cliff was definitely very commercial oriented,
and
I think that's kind of why he was so like that. With the fine art stuff, I think you have to pay attention to what you're doing, and you have to have a purpose, because there's usually meaning and something behind the fine art. You know what I mean? Other than the like just displaying like I know when I do product stuff, it's just I'm just showing you what you're buying. I mean, there's not much to it. The company doesn't want more than that. They don't want any interpretive aspect to it. Just show them what you got. I mean, not all commercial photography is like that, but
no, I've done a lot of shots like that where they don't want to see any of you in it.
Yeah, no, it's just like, hey, look, this is just a book here,
Yeah. But don't upstage
another one.
Don't upstage the talent,
But that beer threw me off, Gray. You threw me off.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I just had a little brain fart, I guess. But yeah, no, I kind of see though that like putting a little distance between you and the work for some time and coming back to it. I think that sometimes helps, especially when you've got to try to be a little creative.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I need time to think about it.
I do too. Sometimes I don't, like I said, I'm a snapshot shooter, I guess, snap shooter.
Mm-hmm.
And
But but a lot of times with what you're shooting, you can't come back to it. Like you can't come back to that plate of food.
No, and
You just kind of gotta get a good, good go at it.
when the
Yeah,
training
nail
kicks in, where you're like, oh, I know to look for this subconsciously now.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I mean, a lot of it you're not consciously thinking about.
Yeah, have you guys ever heard that story? Oh shoot, it was I don't remember it exactly, but it's about like this guy at a plant somewhere, and the machinery broke down, and so this guy walks in. He spends like about 5 minutes tinkering in there. So he opens up a panel, and then he turns a screw like 1/4 way, and he shuts the panel, and then he bills him for like $10,000. And the guy's like, wait, you only worked on it for like 5 minutes, and it's only one screw. Like, I could have done that. And he's like, yeah, but would you have known which one to turn?
I mean, it's like the thing with like why wedding photographers charge so much, and they got the gear, they got this education. You don't have any of that,
Right.
And also, it's for everything with weddings is expensive,
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, I know some
sure that-
photographers, and they're saying that they're literally admitting that people with cell phones in the audience are getting as good a picture half the time as they can get.
My buddy has one of those Google 4+ phones.
Mm-hmm.
It takes really good pictures, especially in low light. I mean, I can't take good pictures like that with my SLR.
Mm-hmm.
Not without a tripod, and I don't know.
I think it depends on what you're doing. There's some things you can't do without an SLR.
Which would be what? What would you say?
The interchange. Well, I guess you could put different lenses on your cell phone now, but there's a certain level of control that you can get on an SLR, and a certain quality that you just can't get on a cell phone.
Isn't that just temporary?
It is, and it's changed a lot. I mean, back in the day, like, and remember 2-megapixel cameras? I mean, they wouldn't hold a candle to a DSLR. Here's another thing. Like, okay, so I have a friend who's a photojournalist, and he was always telling, and I love his work. His name is Wally Scully. Okay. And he is a journalist over at the LA Times. And he was always used to tell me that, it's not the camera, it's the photographer. And I said, bullshit, I'll trade my head, go shoot, the Super Bowl with it, or go shoot the Olympics with it. You're not going to get the same results. You can get good pictures, but you're not going to be able to get some of those shots because it's just not going to be responsive. You're not going to have a lens long enough. You're not going to have a lot of control. Can it really?
Yeah. But won't that change in the near future where, will it be a thing where you just go in there with a, these little, your cell phone camera is going to have such megapixels, such range that you can just shoot a thing. And then later on, you can say what lens it is. Later on, you can say, you already can do the lighting with the RAW, but, it'll all be after the fact. I mean, if you look at your phone, whether it's a Droid or an iPhone or whatever you have, I mean, there's certainly already face tuning going on that thing without you even knowing it.
Yeah, we'll get there. I don't think we're there yet.
No,
we're a lot closer, but there's still things I still feel you need an DSLR to do, or an SLR or bigger camera.
You think they're putting more innovation into cell phone cameras or SLR cameras?
I'm going to go with SLR. No, I'm not going to go with cell phone cameras. There's stuff I can't do on an SLR without spending a crap load of money. Like, the stuff that's native to my iPhone is really
spending a lot of money on the development of the algorithms and the processing.
Yeah.
To really get the SLR or the cell phone cameras to a darn near SLR quality. Yeah. I mean, like they take really good pictures for the most part, and they're so convenient. They fit in your pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like instead of lugging around a big old lens or multiple lenses, depending on what you need, and
I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for most people, I mean, the quality of cell phone cameras nowadays should suffice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, unless you're doing like some commercial applications or some weird fine art stuff, you probably really don't need one anymore.
Yeah, I have one. I haven't touched my DSLR in months.
Right. Because it's okay that your camera, your phone's doing it just fine.
For what I want to do.
For what you're doing.
Well, especially, you know, that light with the cell phone really helps out a lot, I bet.
Yes.
That little LED panel you have.
But that's
I mean,
also
when you have a proper lighting with your cell phone, I mean, mine's like, I think going on 3 or 4 years old now, my cell phone, and as long as I have good light, I get excellent pictures. You know, low light, it's pretty grainy. But
You'll fix that eventually.
yeah.
Oh, like the Google 4 Plus, amazing low light pictures, just amazing.
Right.
Be right back again.
So you haven't been able to get out and shoot then, huh, Ken?
No, I've had a few invitations, and I've had to turn them down, you know, just because, you know, I believe in the social distancing thing. I think it's going to help people. You know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm all for it. You know, I think that it's the only way that this is gonna come to a quicker end. You know, instead of it being drug out. You know.
Yeah. So unless I have somebody, I can't even have somebody come to my house. I have a very nice ramp in the backyard. Needs a little work, but I can't even have some real talented skater come here, except my son's here, my daughter. But because of that, you know, because I'm trying to, well, I'm not trying, I'm going to isolate to sort of help this whole cause. I mean, this is, you know, really crazy thing, this virus and all. You know, I've never experienced this level of interruption or witnessed it within the government and the world.
I mean, this is you know, almost like a disruption, sort of like, you know, World War II.
Yes.
When you know, they had to sort of disrupt factory work and this and that and repurpose stuff for the war. You know, I mean, that's the only thing I can kind of liken it to.
Yeah.
That people might be able to, you know, that someone that's alive still can relate to. You know, that World War II generation. But it's still it's different. It's not the same as that. But
it's global. It's not just a few countries battling it out. It's the whole world's affected. You know.
Yeah.
The great thing about this is, and you know, is that it's really heartening to see, like, this is a global effort. Like, I've never seen the world come together and work towards a common goal like this before.
Yes. I don't think it ever has.
Yeah. It is nice to see the world community come together, you know, like as a whole for one sort of common good.
Yeah. Yep. If you don't have the unity, you'll you know, a lot more will die.
Yeah. Although I did go out grocery shopping today, so my quarantine day count has gone back to 0.
I had to I hit the store yesterday, so
so you're on day 1?
I'm on day 1 now, yeah.
How about you, Ken?
I have all my stuff delivered now.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, you can do this thing where they'll shop for you. It's sort of the Uber of shopping.
Yeah.
Is it Instacart?
No. It's another one. I can't remember the name of it. It's Keeper. I don't know. It's a thing. It's ingenious. Basically, you can shop all those different places. You know, Smart and Final, Northgate. I don't know, 6 different places.
Okay.
And they'll need somebody just like an Uber. They just go shop for you.
Nice.
Oh, my list would be cray. I went to 5 stores today.
Well, I just filled up my house with groceries from 4 stores, and it took about a day. From
Not
8
bad.
8 at night. I didn't move. So and they leave it at your front door.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it costs like $5 a year to do this.
You know what? That's actually kind of nice. You probably are saving a lot of money because I did a lot of impulse shopping. I did a horrible sin, which is shopping while hungry.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's me all the time. I mean, I put it off, and then, you know, I'm starving, and bad. And, you know, I'm trying to, being self-employed, I kind of know about self-regulating and self-structure and all that, but I'm eating like a pig lately. Like, I'm, bored. I'm watching this thing. I'm afraid. And I'm a fear eater, so that's just the worst combination. It's like just all I do is eat. I don't know, whatever I have. I have so much garbage here. It's not even funny.
Have you gained weight? I gained weight.
I've kind of totally gained weight. I mean,
Yeah, I've gained weight too.
Fat.
I haven't popped on the scale, but I can feel it in my clothes, my waistline,
Oh, I can't. I've been in like sweats the entire time.
I have to get
For like 2 years, I've been in stretchy pants.
Wash my hair. I got to do I have to do that, or else then I'll just go way down. I can't do the PJ thing.
Yeah. Oh, and here's another thing. Being a female is a lot easier than a guy because like I can go out in yoga pants and it looks okay. Guys going out in yoga pants not gonna work too well.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be. Yeah, what? I guess like sweatpants or some of those like those workout shorts, like the soccer shorts or Under Armour type shorts. That's like kind of like I guess the guy's yoga pant.
It is, but somehow yoga pants somehow can look refined paired with the right shirt. Sweatpants are harder to do.
Yeah, no. Yoga pants are like everyday attire nowadays for ladies.
Yeah.
I mean, like they can. You can go to just any type of function in yoga pants as long as the top is appropriate for what you're doing.
The world has come such a long way. I love it. I love it. I look at
pictures. The top is appropriate for what you're doing.
Yeah,
I mean, as long as the top like kind of matches like the event, the yoga pants it's like jeans.
Yes. I need to tweet. I'm gonna tweet that.
See, you created something here.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That is so cool. They extended us. That's why we're still talking. But
nice.
Yeah, but it's great. It's really great seeing you guys.
Good seeing you too. Thanks for.
Oh, no, this was so cool. Like I just kind of popped on real quick and I saw that thing and I'm like, what is this link here? And I was like, oh, Zoom. And I just had to kind of download it and try to figure it out because my stepmom had to do a doctor's appointment through it.
Right.
So I had it on my phone and was kind of playing with it, but I've never actually used it. So I saw it and I was just like, oh, wow, this should be fun. So I logged on and I was really like stoked to see you and Grace.
I know. And I'm going to try to do this. I'm testing a few formats I know, but I want to try to do it, regularly, like maybe every other day or something like that, or once a week or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one way to create some kind of normalcy with this weird end of the world thing we're all going through.
I was thinking this would be great for you to do. I had a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Good idea. I could do some one-on-ones too. I'm so uncomfortable on camera that,
Well, you're working it out now.
That's because I'm comfortable with you guys, though. Yeah, I'll think about that. But I think maybe people need to see. I got tired of the content I saw online. No offense to anybody, but I didn't really want to see. When you're worried that the world's going to end, you don't really care what a celebrity's doing. You don't really care. I don't know. I wanted to see some kind of a repetitive or a like like the sunrise and the sun going down every day, something like that, something normal.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is cool.
Yeah.
I'm really stoked. This broke up my day really nice. I was just doing some yard work and messing around. I just come inside, so this is great.
That's awesome. Yeah, so if you see any of these in the future, just feel free to join, but don't feel obligated. Because I'm going to start trying to do this maybe, every now and then to sort of create some level of normalcy.
Yeah, and hey, if you have a schedule, you can schedule one, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. That way, and just add me to the schedule.
Right.
I'll try to be around.
This is the way I shoot my skateboard pictures. I have some of the greatest skateboarders in the world, but, a lot of times we'll text each other literally the night before and we'll meet at blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go do it. And that's sort of skateboard thing, that's why I just put it up there. Who's going to bite, YouTube.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that I was viewing at the time.
Yeah.
You are in music, so audio.
Yeah.
Any tips for good audio producing?
Well, a lav mic would just totally change the whole experience. When you have the mic right here, It's hardwired. It doesn't have to be an expensive one.
Mm-hmm.
That thing just goes right to your computer. You know, it's just so much more clear. You don't have all this. Just like photography, where the microphone picks up all the sound of the room. That can be kind of muddy. That's like a available light shot, and then
let me try that. I don't know if I plug in a lav if it will cut out the output for the audio.
Right.
So let
This
me
could
check.
be exciting here. We'll see.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. We're here to plug and play. We're working it out, you know.
Yeah, I got mine here somewhere. I got a couple. I have a little kit when I do my podcasts.
My little boom mic, but
that's nice. What is that? Sennheiser? Who's that?
no, it's just Vivitar. It came free with my camera.
Sweet.
Oh, wow.
But I mean, it's better than nothing.
Sound is so important to video, you know? Like, it's almost more important than the picture.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. Like, have you guys been watching late night at all?
No.
Like any of the late night shows?
Yeah, they're all like, actually everything, like even like the news, you know, they have people broadcasting like they're doing the weather from home.
Oh, really?
And it's really weird to see everyone's like terrible makeup and bad hair and just like their weird backdrops and the weird lighting at the house, you know?
Yeah.
And I see, if you watch YouTube, there's like Peter McKinnon, there's all these YouTubers who are doing such high quality video and audio and like editing and, you know, just color grading and stuff like that. And then I go see like late night when they're shooting at home. I'm like, oh, poor guys. I'm so used to high production quality from YouTube now.
I think that's partially the people that make those things. You know, I think a lot of people that make professional audio and video, like they just do it that one way.
Ooh, okay. So I will say this. I plugged in my lavalier to the laptop.
Yeah.
I can't hear you guys anymore.
Oh, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You could hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
I couldn't hear you guys. So let me see if there's like a setting so that I can just do audio in and speaker output.
So what do you think, Jason? Does it sound different to you?
It sounded different for a second. A little
Well, the lavalier was in my lap, so
okay, that might be why. It sounded like more like almost like echo chambery, or like there was a slight echo or something for a second.
Yeah. Let's go with output for internal speakers. Input is internal microphone. That's not going to work. So let me plug this in. I'm probably going to lose audio out. Well, let's see. Can you guys talk? I want to see if I can hear you guys.
Can you hear us?
Wow, yeah. You got a lot louder.
Can't hear you guys. Damn it. But anyway, even though I can't hear you guys right now, what do you guys think of the sound quality for this right now? And I'm going to unplug it so I can hear your answer.
Okay. So, no, can't hear you now.
Oh, you can't hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
So it was a little too hot. If you can change the gain on it.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
You should use that tonight at your Zoom party, so you can.
I would, but then I don't have audio out, so I can't hear everyone else. So
That will be a problem.
That's the reason. Is that thing somehow taking over your audio and video?
it's taking over. I think it thinks it's a headphone or like, something like that.
Yeah, it could be the amount of rings on that tip.
3. So it should be, it should do video and well, it should do,
Yeah, it should all 3, huh?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. I think that one of the tips is taking over your piece of hardware thinks that everything's coming from that.
Yeah. So, oh well.
Yeah, but that once you iron that out, that should really be a game changer.
Doesn't the 2 mean that it's just audio out and the 3rd ring means audio in too?
I always thought the 2 was stereo, like 2 channels.
Uh-huh.
The 3rd ring was video, but I could be wrong.
I'll have to Google that.
Yeah.
I have the same thinking as Ken.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's Google it now.
Right? You can you do that on Zoom? Can't you do a thing where you share your desktop on the on the Zoom somehow?
I think you can. I think there's a thing. I'm not sure how.
Uh,
I haven't gotten that far either.
I know nothing about Zoom.
Invite participants, screen share. Desktop 1. Share.
Oh, how cool.
Look at
Oh,
that.
the desktop is so clean.
No. There's this. Okay, so let's go with
What is this, the 15% gray desktop, Grace?
it is because I do a lot of editing and any other color throws me off.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so nope. Phono jack. I don't know how to do this. 3 bands versus 2.
Or 3 tip, maybe. Or 3 ring, maybe.
3 ring. Adapter is also known as a blah 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 2 ring. Phono plug. What's the difference between 2 stripe? Aha! Quora to the answer. I mean, to the rescue. The 3rd ring is the microphone. So it is audio in.
3rd is the mic. Okay. Oh, the mic. Okay, so it's not just playing; it's also listening. Okay. What are you plugging that into, Grace? Right into your laptop, or right into an audio interface, or?
It's into my laptop right now. I'm sure there's a workaround for it. I just don't have the gear for the workaround.
Little.
I don't have coronavirus. Sorry, that's just smoker's cough.
It could be some routing thing too, like something you have to flip in your settings.
All right, now I don't know how to get you. Oh, stop share. There we go.
How cool is that? I can't even do that with mine because my desktop's so messy. So.
Oh, come on. I showed you mine. Show me yours.
How do you do it? How do you do the?
On the bottom part of it.
Share screen, right?
Screen share. There's a little green button that says screen share.
Screen share. Desktop. Oh, and so you can do like a whiteboard and wow, all kinds of things, huh?
Oh, I don't see the whiteboard, but
well, maybe because mine's the. I started this.
I'm gonna react.
Oh wow! It's asking for permission to.
For applause.
Show it. Let me see. Wait a second. Open system privacy, security, privacy, and grant access. Oh, okay. Hang on. I have to.
I just found the reactions too. This is fun.
Oh, you actually have reactions?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a little menu here, and this is fun.
Yay!
Wow, how fun. Well, anyways, I've got to. I think I have to bounce here, guys.
Okay.
I've got to get cooking some dinner. And I'm sorry, but this was really fun.
Yeah.
And I hope we can do this again soon.
Definitely. I better take off too. You have to. It'll be the next time. I'll show you my desktop.
Okay. Are you gonna clean up first?
No. I'm not that way. Like my last conversation I had on here, my hair is all fucked up. But, thanks, you guys. It was great seeing you.
Good seeing you guys too.
Have fun at your Zoom party tonight, Grace.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Have fun at your Zoom party tonight.
Oh, thank you. We're just gonna have a drinking party.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, though. It's fun.
So just one thing, one last thing I'd like to ask each of you is, so Jason, just real quickly, what are you cooking tonight?
Oh, I am making grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Ooh, nice.
I love those.
Not nothing too crazy, but I got to slice the cheese and. So
you got a big brick.
That's about it. That's about as hard as it gets, is slicing the cheese.
Right, big brick. It's more fresh when you slice it with the piano wire thingy.
I use I have like a grater that it's sort of like a little, almost like a pyramid, and has different sides on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just drag it along the side that it makes like slices. It's got like a wide, long, flat cut.
Have you ever thought about just shredding it completely?
Not for grilled cheese. No.
I've
You
seen
can,
people.
Just when you flip it, you know what I mean. I don't want it falling out the side. Any shreds.
Yeah.
but then it turns into like this sort of wonderful charred cheese that you get on pizza when you do it
Well,
that
that
way.
is true. Like I've seen people. They've been making like toast, like uh, fried cheese taco shells.
Yeah,
Oh.
it wouldn't suck.
It looked really good.
Yeah, no.
But
And tomato soup? Are you making that from scratch?
no, I have some Campbell's.
You gonna doctor it up in any way, or just gonna go straight up?
Just a little half and half and butter.
Ooh,
Ooh.
more of like a bisque-ish.
Yeah. It gets thick and creamy.
God, that sounds good.
That does.
What are you doing, Grace?
I don't know. I'm doing burgers most likely. I made some guacamole yesterday, so I'm gonna have some guacamole burgers. Those
Nice.
pictures, they will be on Facebook.
It'll be
Perfect.
a very amazing photo.
Yeah. Oh, and Ken, before you go, since you're recording this conversation, can you let me know later if you're getting this as one file or if like each person has their own separate file?
I'll let you know, and I'll let you know the format and all, because I've got to figure all that out crap too. I got to throw it in my editor and try to YouTube it or whatever, Facebook it or whatever it is. But my last question to you, Grace, is this: can I get a print frame and a 35 mil?
I don't do that anymore.
Jokes.
Gave up that life a long time ago.
Okay, document joke.
But I will say this, because I was handling so much equipment, I didn't get sick for like 10 years. I built up this amazing immunity.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye,
day,
guys.
guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I got to figure out how to quit this thing. How do I quit?
Oh, yeah.
Stops.